The letter arrived on a Tuesday morning, folded once, stamped twice, and delivered 3 days late. By the time Maria Alvarez held it in her hands, her life had already begun to fall apart. At the top of the page was a name she barely recognized as her own. Maria Alvarez. One extra letter. One tiny mistake. At the bottom of the page was a court seal, an official signature, and a sentence that made her knees give way. She was ordered to appear before a criminal court in connection with an armed robbery that had happened 2 years earlier. Maria had never been arrested in her life. She was a hospital cleaner in San Antonio, Texas, 32 years old, a single mother of one. She worked night shifts, took the bus home at dawn, and slept while her daughter was in school. Her biggest crime, if anyone asked, was being late on rent once. She read the letter again, and again. Armed robbery, use of a firearm, serious bodily harm. The name wasn't even spelled right. She laughed at first, a short, nervous laugh. This had to be a mistake, a prank, a scam. She folded the paper, placed it on the kitchen table, and made breakfast for her daughter like nothing had happened. But that night, as she scrubbed blood off an emergency room floor, the words replayed in her mind. Court order, felony. Failure to appear will result in immediate arrest. 3 days later, 2 police officers knocked on her apartment door at 6:14 a.m. Her daughter was still asleep. Maria opened the door in her slippers. They said her name. She corrected them. They didn't care. They handcuffed her in the hallway while her neighbors watched through cracked doors. She kept repeating the same sentence. There's a mistake. You spelled my name wrong. One officer glanced at the paper, shrugged, and said, "Tell it to the judge." At the station, they fingerprinted her, photographed her, and put her in a holding cell that smelled like metal and sweat. She asked for a lawyer. They gave her a public defender who looked tired before she even spoke. The defender skimmed the file for less than 5 minutes. The robbery had taken place at a convenience store across town. The suspect was described as a Hispanic woman in her early 30s. Medium height, dark hair. Maria matched the description. The name on the original arrest warrant was Maria Alvarez. The typo had followed the case like a shadow. Security footage was blurry. The store clerk had been shot in the leg. The real suspect had fled. No one had been arrested at the time. 2 years later, during a database cleanup, the name was corrected automatically. Alvarez became Alvarez, and the system decided Maria Alvarez was the missing criminal. Maria told them where she was the night of the robbery. She had been working. There were time logs, supervisors, cameras at the hospital. The defender nodded and said, "We'll sort it out." She was denied bail. The judge said she was a flight risk. The first week in jail felt unreal, like a bad dream she expected to wake up from. The second week felt dangerous. The third week broke something inside her. Her daughter was sent to live with Maria's sister. Phone calls were limited. Visits were behind glass. Every time Maria asked about her case, she was told to wait. Paperwork takes time. Evidence takes time. The system takes time. 3 months later, she stood in a courtroom wearing an orange jumpsuit, hands cuffed to her waist. The prosecutor spoke with confidence. They presented the surveillance footage. Grainy, distant, a woman who could have been anyone. They presented the corrected warrant. They presented a witness who said the suspect's name was Maria, not Maria Alvarez. Just Maria. Her public defender objected weakly. The hospital records were inconclusive. The timestamps were unclear. A supervisor had transferred to another state and couldn't be reached. The jury watched the video again. They looked at Maria. They saw a woman who fit the description. They didn't see a typo. They saw a criminal. The verdict came back in less than 4 hours. Guilty. Maria didn't scream. She didn't cry. She felt empty. She was sentenced to 12 years in state prison, 10 with good behavior. The judge never mentioned the spelling of her name. The prison gates closed behind her with a sound she would never forget. Inside, time moved differently. Days blurred into weeks, weeks into years. Maria learned quickly how to survive. Keep your head down. Don't ask questions. Don't trust kindness. She worked in the laundry room. then the kitchen, then the library. At night, she wrote letters to her daughter she wasn't allowed to send, pages she hid inside old books. She memorized her child's face from a photograph that grew more faded every year. Outside, her daughter grew up thinking her mother had abandoned her. The appeals process crawled forward like it was dragging chains. Every appeal was denied. Procedural error. Insufficient new evidence. Case closed. By year 5, Maria stopped hoping. By year 7, she stopped counting days. By year 9, she had forgotten the sound of silence without bars. Then, in the 10th year, a law student named Evan noticed something strange. He was working with a nonprofit legal clinic, reviewing old cases for wrongful convictions. He wasn't looking for Maria. He was looking for patterns, inconsistent records, data anomalies. He saw 2 similar names tied to one case. Maria Alvarez. Maria Alvarez. 2 spellings. 1 conviction. He dug deeper. The original arrest warrant, the database correction, the lack of physical evidence, the hospital time logs that had never been fully examined, the security footage metadata, the witness statement that never gave a last name. Evan brought the case to his supervisor. They reopened the file. Subpoenas were issued. Old supervisors were tracked down. Digital records were recovered. The hospital cameras showed Maria mopping a hallway at the exact minute the robbery occurred. Her ID badge was visible. The timestamp was clear. The real Maria Alvarez was found in another state. She had been arrested 3 times since the robbery. 1 for shoplifting, 1 for assault, 1 for armed robbery with a firearm. 10 years after Maria Alvarez walked into prison, she was brought back into court. This time, she wore civilian clothes. The prosecutor wouldn't meet her eyes. The judge looked older. The evidence was read into the record. The typo, the system error, the failure to verify. The conviction was overturned in less than 10 minutes. Maria was officially exonerated. She was given a check for wrongful imprisonment. It didn't equal 10 years of her life. It didn't give her back her daughter's childhood. It didn't erase the night she cried into a pillow to stay silent. She walked out of the courthouse into sunlight that felt unfamiliar. Her daughter stood across the street, taller than she remembered, unsure whether to hug her. They hugged anyway. Awkward, tight, real. The state issued an apology. It was 1 paragraph long. Maria went home to an apartment that didn't feel like home. She tried to find work. Background checks still showed the conviction for months. She woke up at night expecting guards. She flinched at loud doors. The typo was eventually fixed everywhere, but the damage stayed. 10 years, because of 1 extra letter, and a system that never stopped to ask if it was wrong. Subscribe to this channel if you believe in justice. Like and share this video.